Hi, I'm James Schilling-Law, and I'm here aboard Alma Verde on the Danube. And why am I here? Because I'm with the Gifted Travel Network, a great host agency that's celebrating 10 years right now. I'm here with Jen Cochran, who is the CEO of the host agency, and we're going to talk to Jen about Gifted, about the anniversary, and kind of why we're here, and talk to you a little bit about the benefits of being part of Gifted Travel Network. And you'll find out about that and more on Insider Travel Report. Jen, first of all, this has been a great conference so far. I've been on a couple days, and you got a lot of members engaged, and it's great. And it is your 10-year anniversary. But tell us a little bit about, the foundings of Gifted Travel Network, because I remember when you came aboard. But how did this host agency come to be?
Well, we're a little bit different because we started out of a coaching and education background. Right. So we actually go way back in history. If you want to go all the way back, Meredith Hill, now Callaway, used to be part of Hills of Africa. That was a company that she founded with Sandy Sale. And she, like lots of travel advisors, was struggling at the beginning, learning how to kind of find the formula to run a profitable travel agency. And so she went out to all the marketing gurus and kind of looked at the best email marketing principles and things like that, and brought them back to the travel industry and built a very, very successful travel agency.
I do remember that. That's when I first met her, yeah.
Yeah, and so in doing that, she sort of felt a calling to help other travel advisors learn to run profitable, successful travel businesses, and founded GIFT, Global Institute for Travel Entrepreneurs. And Vanessa McGovern and I kind of came on board, and we helped to build that first. So at the heart of who we are is kind of coaches and educators. And as we were helping people with all these strategies to be more profitable, to build successful brands and everything, we found that we couldn't help them all the way because we weren't providing all of the support that they needed as business owners and entrepreneurs. So that's what prompted us to start a host agency, because that way we can give them the holistic support they need, everything from the partner relationships all the way through to back office processing, as well as the strategies for marketing and branding and client care and all of the other things to be successful.
So you did have the base, which was, great business advice and everything else, and then you finally said, all right, we're going to sort of do the rest of it and actually have a group that's going to benefit totally from that, plus all the other things we can provide, right?
Right, exactly. It's, all of our members have their own brands, and we want to help them build really successful businesses, which means they need to know things about how to run scenario analysis and financials and the legal aspects, like all of the things. And so that's what we try and provide for them.
Now, when you started, roughly how many travel advisors did you have affiliate?
Well, at the very beginning, we had a few actually, because they knew us from the coaching and education side. So, it's kind of a catch-22, because when you start, we had no sales, we had no recognition, so we didn't have the commission levels. And luckily, we had some really amazing people who knew us and believed in us and kind of came on a leap of faith when we were just getting started. And so we probably started out with about 25 right off the bat when we opened our doors. And by the time we were at 2 years, we had close to 100 advisors. And then we went up to about 400 at our peak, although we've scaled back a little bit, to be honest.
So how many do you have roughly now?
Right now, I think we have 318. Okay. So, and we don't really focus on the number of advisors. That's not important to us. We're much more interested in growing in terms of our engagement and our productivity per advisor. And also, we're very focused on bringing people who are passionate about travel into the industry and teaching them how to build their businesses from scratch.
So you're going to do more newbie type of thing. I mean, so you do. One of my questions was, are you taking newbies? And the answer is yes, you are.
Yeah, that's actually one of our sort of, that's part of our secret sauce, and that's part of what we're passionate about. And so very, very shortly after we launched Gifted Travel Network, we started our travel MBA program, stands for Travel Marketing Business Academy. And we have attracted some really, really polished professional people from other industries and helped them to build their businesses. It's a Magellan Award-winning program. And what I find is really powerful is that last year in 2022, which was a very successful year for us, more than a third of our sales came from people who had come through that program. So that's completely new to the industry business. It's new capacity for the industry. So that's like super exciting for us to see them thrive that way.
No, it sounds like that's one of your strengths is we go through a lock here. It's getting a little dark all of a sudden, in case you think we're just getting a little romantic light or something. But it's we are on the river. Now, I was going to ask you about those programs. And so let's go through some of the things that you offer, maybe, and also maybe something a little different than maybe other hosts. So obviously you have technology, you have marketing support, you have training, which is very big, and then affiliation, because you are now part of Virtuoso, which is a few years ago, right?
2019, we joined Virtuoso, the beginning of 2019.
Oh, good time to join, just before the pandemic, right?
Well, actually was a really good time for us to join, because I think of, we were corporate in 2013, but really we didn't really launch until the beginning of 2014, the very end of 2013. So I think of the first 5 years of Gifted Travel Network, that's like our building our foundation years, right? And then it took us a little while to kind of get to where we wanted to be strategically to kind of come into our own. And in 2019, 5 years in, that's when we joined Virtuoso, and we've just been on an unbelievable trajectory since then. That's when we kind of hit our sweet spot, and came into who we are.
So you also at that point must have decided we are really going to focus on more upscale luxury travel and sell that, right?
Yes, we had been moving in that direction, and so Virtuoso was definitely the right place for us to be in order to lean into luxury travel, and that is our primary focus. Most of our advisors are selling luxury travel, and we're part of all the Hotel Elite programs. We've really leaned into Virtuoso. Our advisors are very active in Virtuoso communities and all of that.
Now, what about technology? What kind of stuff do you offer? I know we're just hearing, I hear you have sort of your own portal, and I forget what you call it, that is kind of their central place where everybody can book and do stuff, right?
Yeah, we have it's sort of an intranet.
Travel Joy, I think it was.
Well, Travel Joy is a third-party software, which is a great software which a lot of advisors use. That's a workflow management tool. A lot of our advisors use Travefy, which is an itinerary building tool. We provide that as part of membership. We've recently contracted with Lucia, which is like an outsourcing sort of piecemeal things that advisors need help with. So we cover the membership for that for our members. We try and leverage technology as much as we can and remain cutting edge. It's a little bit difficult in the travel industry, as you know, because technology is lagged. So we're always kind of looking to up level and upgrade. And we've got a number of things in store that we're looking to do in terms of enhancing technology over the next year. We'll be investing pretty heavily in continuing to up level our technology.
That's great. So it does sound like you've got new partners with technology that are working for you. And then, of course, marketing, which is a big part of it. And I assume you take advantage of some of the Virtuoso marketing, but what do you do for yourself?
We do take advantage of the Virtuoso marketing. It's amazing marketing, so our advisors do that. And then we teach a lot about marketing, so things that the advisors can do independently. We support them in the marketing strategies. We don't have our own, at this point, sort of consumer-focused marketing program for them to opt into. We leverage Virtuoso for that. But we have a lot of conversations about what's working for marketing in terms of, what's happening with Facebook ads or Google ads or other kind of social media strategies. For list building, we do a lot of talking about engagement strategies, because those are kind of the two main parts of marketing: list building and engagement strategy. So we have a lot of conversations about that in our, we talked a little bit about our new to the industry training program, but we really have coaching and education programs that work for the advisor as they progress in their career. So after the Travel MBA program, we have what's called our Accelerate program, which is for people who have built their foundation, their businesses are growing, they need support in those growth strategies and continuing to build their marketing foundation and client attraction and client support. And then all the way up through our top producers have access to mastermind programs. So we actually did a mastermind ahead of this group travel symposium.
Well, I was going to ask the next question, was training. You just answered that. That's your strong suit, and that's what your roots are, is in training and education and telling people how to become better travel advisors and telling newbies how to become travel advisors, right?
Yeah, and I think one of the things that's really different about us is it's training, but really it's more coaching.
Right.
And there's a lot of collaboration. We have a very, very strong collaborative community, and so we do a lot of group coaching programs, facilitated discussions around best practices, a lot of sharing among our members, and that, mastermind being the most powerful of that with a smaller, group. And that's kind of what you're seeing with the Group Travel Symposium, where we have our members who are really successful at these strategies sharing what they do with the other members who want to learn from them, and they can continue the conversations, over dinner.
That's great. I did see that you're using your members as the panelists, as the speakers, and once in a while I actually spoke, but that was that was probably pretty boring, but it was
great. Everybody was riveting. started.
I felt you needed a history of river cruising in case you didn't, in case you wanted it or not, because a lot of people, it's not a lot, but you did a lot of people who have been on river cruises, but I met a few that had never done it. So this is the first time for them, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we've got some people who are very new to the industry who are here with us. So,
yeah, and it's such a great product to sell. And I guess that leads to my next question. You are selling luxury, but do you have a specific focus? I mean, do you try focusing on cruises, on river cruises, on luxury resorts? I mean, is it all of the above kind of?
It's all the above.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, we, our advisors all have their own brands. They all have their own message. They all have their areas of focus. If you look at our sort of product mix, probably our highest category is hotels, actually. But we sell a lot of tour operators, hotels. Our advisors do a lot of FIT business. Of course, we do have great business with cruise lines. We have a wonderful business with On the Waterways, who's hosting us for the symposium. So, yeah, we pretty well cover the gamut.
Now, what is the profile of the typical gifted travel advisor today?
I would say that our members are those who really lean into what we uniquely have to offer, which is the collaboration and the community and
the coaching.
And the coaching and really wanting to improve and grow their businesses. And they don't want to reinvent the wheel, and they want to learn about what's working for other people so that they can implement, not just marketing things, but also operational best practices and everything else. So they tend to be very engaged, very serious about their businesses. We don't really have any hobbyists in our network. It's people who we're not the least expensive option, so our advisors tend to be ones who are investing in their businesses and want to grow their businesses.
Well, that actually brings me, what is it, how do you become, and what are the charges involved, the fees for being in Gifted?
It depends on where you are, and we have a spectrum of people that people can choose from. So we offer all the way up to 100% commission level. Okay. So it really depends on what option they are. If they're brand new to the industry, our new to the industry training program, the Travel MBA program, is a $10,000 price point for a 12-month program, and then from there, our membership fees vary. We have a baseline membership fee for all members, and then depending on what commission level you're at, it will dictate the monthly fee.
Now, you mentioned you do take people from outside the industry. What would be a typical, it has to be some kind of professional, I would think, somebody who maybe has a previous career or something else, but who are the best candidates to become gifted travel advisors?
I think anybody, it helps when you've had an established career and you kind of might not know anything about entrepreneurship, because we can teach you all of that, but you've had success at something in the past, and you also are well networked coming into it. That always helps.
Then you have some working client base, maybe.
Yeah. And our members who have been very successful come from all different backgrounds. One had a hedge fund. One of them was an equity derivatives trader. There's a lot of people coming from
the hedge fund and become a travel advisor. That's a bit of a leap, huh?
Yeah, and so they come from all different backgrounds. Our most successful from our most recent Travel MBA cohort from last year actually is an oncologist, and was very inspired to, she worked with a lot of people who are facing the end of life, and what did they regret? Not spending enough time traveling, not spending enough time being with family. And she actually started her travel business and didn't even normally the Travel MBA program's a 12-month time frame. She kind of leapfrogged out of that early to join Accelerate and went straight to our top producers club within 12 months of business.
Wow, that's amazing.
So that's over $1 million.
I would have said she had a ready client base, but that means she was either a good oncologist and her patient survived, or
she's an amazing oncologist, an amazing mom, an amazing person, just a very, very competent individual.
That's amazing, that kind of story. But again, as I tell people, selling travel is great. You're selling a thing that people want to buy, and you can make some money doing it, and you can also enjoy the travel yourself. So that's it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So now, you told me you're not really looking to grow a whole lot. You're over 300 now, but that's not your goal. It's really sort of get quality and have a good group, right?
Yeah, we're not looking to grow in terms of number of advisors. We don't actually, we know what that number is because it's a statistic, but we don't focus on that. What we're looking for is just to have the most engaged, most productive membership. And we are pretty selective when it comes to people joining Gifted Travel Network. We only accept a very small percentage of people who apply to our Travel MBA program, for example, and same thing for advisors who are experienced who wish to join us. We have sort of an application process because we want to make sure we're not the right fit for everybody,
right.
And vice versa. So we want to make sure that we are increasing our membership with people who are really going to benefit from what we have to offer.
No, absolutely, and of course they want to invest a little in it too, because it's not inexpensive to do your travel MBA, your whole thing, and so they have to be serious about it. And I fully understand that. You can't. Newbies are great. They say, "Oh, I want to travel," and they come in, and then they find it's actually pretty hard business, until you get it down. When you get it down, I mean, it can be a great business, and I think a lot of people discover that, right?
Right. Yeah. Absolutely. And that's why we teach them, so that they're not, spinning their wheels trying to figure it out on their own. And also, with anything, people do better when they have some skin in the game, when they are invested in it. It's very easy people do it with things like diets all the time, right? You can kind of dabble in something, but if you're not committed, if you haven't invested in it, if you don't have some skin in the game, the likelihood of success is a lot lower.
Yeah, I know that from personal experience, but I've tried a few things, but in the end, it's just not eating, or it's getting very ill and losing money, losing pounds, and trying not to gain it back.
There's no silver bullet with anything. You have to put in the work, and you have to be committed to it.
Absolutely. Now, is there anything else you want to tell we go out to about 112,000 travel advisors now. Anything else you want to tell them about Gifted, about maybe the advantages they might want to consider joining you if they're the right fit?
I mean, we would love to have anybody who's the right fit for us. It is a really great place to be. I mean, just seeing all of our advisors here and how they're interacting with each other, and the energy is just so positive. But overall, I would say, regardless of what host agency an advisor is with, it's just a really amazing time to be in travel. I mean, the trajectory and the momentum that we have going in the industry is so powerful. But also, I think that there's really been a permanent psychological shift in the consumer in terms of how they value experiences and travel in their life, especially since the pandemic. And so I feel that this trend, this really strong trend that we're seeing in travel, that's not going anywhere anytime soon. And at the same time, the number of wealthy is increasing. The concentration of wealth is increasing. So even if we might see some economic softening, I feel like, especially in the luxury travel segment, that's those people are not price sensitive that way. So the future's just really bright. And I'm really excited to be in the industry, and I think anybody who's in it should be really thankful that they chose this path.
And you also think that this host model, which actually just evolved in the last, I'd say, 20 years, is really something that the entire industry has kind of moved over to. I think the hosted travel advisor is really kind of in vogue now, and the largest agencies, if you want to call them, are going to be hosts.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think that there's power in both models. I think there's power in a more traditional sort of, brick and mortar sort of a model in certain markets. And I think there's a lot of power in the host model. The hybrid one I'm not as sure about. But I know that some of our partners have told us that upwards of 80% of their growth in sales is coming from hosted advisors. Right. So clearly it's the strongest growing segment of
Yeah, absolutely. And I remember the days in the late 90s when we were looking for home-based travel agents, and the suppliers, didn't really want to talk to them. Then all of a sudden that changed dramatically, like that. Now, where can our viewers go to learn more about Gifted Travel Network and sign up potentially to become an affiliate?
Well, our website is www.giftedtravelnetwork.com, so that's pretty easy. It's just the name of the business.
I think you even have a button that says, sign up here or something.
Yeah, we do. Well, we have sort of a path for experienced and a path for new to the industry advisors to kind of find their way and be able to schedule an appointment with us so that they can talk to us and learn a little bit more about fit and everything. And also I would suggest that if anybody is looking to see, a good fit for them in terms of a host agency, to go to Host Agency Reviews, because it's a great resource. And it's objective.
No, I know that publication very well as a friend of mine. So, Jen, I want to thank you for, first of all, inviting me on with your conference, which has been great. And we're all heading to the Asta River Cruise Expo, and that's going to be the second one. The first one was awesome, and I know that's the other thing is you are a very big supporter of American Society of Travel Advisors, ASTA,
absolutely.
Right?
Yes, absolutely. We feel very strongly that the entire industry needs to be supporting ASTA. We need to be able to join together in order to have the influence that we need to have to make sure that conditions continue to be advantageous for us, and ASTA is absolutely the answer to that. So we are very strongly supportive of ASTA, and I really think that it's a responsibility for anybody who's part of the industry to be supporting ASTA.
Well, Jen, again, thank you very much. This has been a great cruise so far. We have a few more days, and actually, I'm going to be on this ship for a while on the Ama Verde, because I'm actually heading down after the ASTA conference to Bulgaria and Romania for the first time, because this is part of the Danube I've never done before, so I'm looking forward to that. But again, first real exposure to you guys. I've known Meredith, and I've known Vanessa, and this is the first time meeting you, really, and you got a great group and really enthusiastic, and they love what they do, and it's the passion I can see.
Well, thank you. We're so happy that you're able to join us, and it was really nice talking to you.
I'm James Shillinglaw on board the Ama Verde at the Gifted Travel Network, and the focus this time is group travel, which is actually one of the most lucrative things you can do. So this is Insider Travel Report.